Now, Cambyses did something that was not common. It was not something that was a custom of even his own people, the Persians. He married his own sisters, yes, not one but two. Um, and when he, because this was not a custom of the Persians, when he wanted to marry, he at some point felt like he had fallen in love with one of his sisters. And this sisters was not even half sister, it was, Herodotus tells us that it was a sister from same mother, same father. Um, he reached out to the royal judges. Now, these were individuals who were appointed or elected, I think most likely appointed, and their primary work was to interpret the law. And he called all of them to the palace, and he asked them whether there was a law which allowed a brother, if he wished, to marry their sister. And the judges knew Cambyses. They had seen who he was. They knew he was kind of a guy that could explore. There's a guy who wanted everything to happen according to his own will, that if you went against what you wanted, then you were endangering your life or your freedom. So he asked them, is there a law that will allow me to marry my sister? And the judges were very careful in the answer they gave him. This is the answer they gave him. They told him, we've not found any law allowing a brother to take his sister to wife, but we found a law that the king of Persia might do whatever he pleases. So basically telling him, while we don't have a law that allows you to marry your sister, but there is this law that says the king can do whatever they want. So basically, they didn't like bend the law to suit his needs, but they also did not put themselves in danger by kind of going against what he really wanted, and that is to marry his sister. So he married his sister, and then later on also married another sister. So the two sister, younger sister. And now he went to Egypt with one of these sisters, the younger sister. Now, while in Egypt, he killed this sister stroke wife. And this is what happened. As he was, one day he was in the house. Now, Herodotus tells us that he's also given two stories about this. It's not one story. The one story is told of how Cambyses killed his wife's stroke sister, is that they were in the house, and then there were two dogs that were brothers in the house, and then there was a lion cub, a cub of a lion, and one of the dogs started fighting the lion cub. So they were fighting, and the dog was almost losing the fight, and then the brother of the dog, the other cub, came and helped the brother in the fight, and they won over the lion. And when the sister of Cambyses saw this, she started crying, and Cambyses asks her, why are you crying? And she's like, the way I saw the two dogs who are brothers helped each other to overcome the lion made me sad. And he asked her, why does that make you sad? He's like, it made me remember Smarties. Remember Smarties, the brother that Cambyses decided to kill because he was envious of. He thought Smarties would overthrow him. So she's like, I remember Smarties, he didn't have a brother to protect him the day he was killed. That made Cambyses angry, and he killed the sister. The other story that Herodotus is told is that the two was at home in a house, and then the sister stroke wife brought a lettuce, and then she stripped the stick of the lettuce off all the leaves, and then she asked Cambyses, what do you think, when was the lettuce looking better, with the leaves or without the leaves? And Cambyses was like, with the leaves, of course. And she's like, now what you've done for the house of Cyrus is you've stripped it killing Smarties. And that made Cambyses angry, and he killed the sister stroke wife. Yeah, so, and this is one of the many activities that, or many things that Cambyses did that made the Egyptians and of course the Persians believe that Cambyses were not okay in the head. And in fact, Herodotus tells us that he had never been okay even from as a child. There was always something wrong with him, even though the Egyptians thought that he became mad because he had killed god Apis. But Herodotus tells us that since he was a child, Cambyses had never been very okay. There was something wrong with him. So this was not like something that happened in Egypt. It is something that happened because of his personality. Maybe there is something that he was going through mentally that made him do the weird things that he did. And I'm going to create, the next video is about the mad Cambyses.